welcome to another edition of Art of the Kickstart. Today I am super excited because I am speaking with one of my favorite founders. I am speaking with none other Jack Yao, co-founder of Mobile Pixels. And if you haven't been living under a rock for the last month, maybe the last 4 or 5 years now, it's been a year and a half since Jack and I jumped on the show, episode 354 for all those listening. Back when we had Jack on the show, we were talking about DoX and that Kickstarter campaign that had almost 4,000 backers and over $1 million pledged. Well, Jack is back with his team, their fifth creation now on Kickstarter, Geminos. It's this amazingly, well, you know what? I'm going to let Jack talk all about it. Jack, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So, Jack, you're on your fifth campaign, Geminos. It's already raised $1.2 million now from almost 2,000 backers. Let's talk about this product as the world has never seen it before. So what is it?
Yeah, so we really wanted to, our first couple products, we focused on portability, working outside of your conventional office, enabling people to stay productive while portable. And we wanted to take the entire sort of philosophy behind that and sort of reinvent your workspace inside the office. So Geminos is a dual screen desktop monitor. Now, unlike conventional dual screen setups where they're side by side, Geminos is top and bottom. The top display slides up and down while the bottom display pivots in and out. In turn, it creates an angled visual surface that bends and fits right inside of your peripherals. So you don't have to swivel your head, tilt your head. It's just a lot more ergonomic of a way to work. Now, on top of the displays, Geminos comes with a fully integrated docking station capable of 100-watt pass-through charging. So, it could, while your laptop is powering the Geminos, Geminos is also charging the laptop. It has a built-in webcam, two 8-watt speakers in the back. So really, it's an all-in-one integrated working solution. And lastly, with this top and bottom setup, it takes up much less space compared to your conventional setup. So for people who might be living in a super urban area where you don't have a lot of space, you're in a dormitory, it's a great tool to have to help you stay productive in your environment.
I'll say this thing is amazing. When I first got the sneak peek of this product, I was like, this is a game changer for displays and everything. And then, watching the crowdfunding video that you guys got produced and everything that's in there, you touch on so many different lines of work that needed disruption, if you will, right? And it's just, simple in our minds to be like, oh, let's just stop doing the monitors side by side and just on top of each other because, again, we're all working from home these days, right? So it's just like that natural inclination to have everything in alignment seems so simple to think about, but for you guys to innovate it, how did you guys come up with the idea to flip things sideways and have it work that way?
Yeah, it's like our first product. This one is actually born out of personal need. So, Stephen actually came up with the idea. When we first moved into a co-working space, we had 4 people in a 100 square feet office. It was crazy. So we didn't have any room. In the morning, we would have to push all our boxes out to make room for the people to sit in. And then when we leave, we have to push all the boxes back in because we just had stuff everywhere. And because of that, Stephen kind of had to sort of jerry rig his desktop setup. So he took 2 desktop monitors, placed them at an angle, stacked them on top of each other using some boxes and books and tapes or whatnot. And then we were like, wow, that's actually a pretty cool way to work. And we started digging into it. It was like, everybody jumped in, pitched in, well, why don't we add a camera? Why don't we do a linkage system? Why don't we do this? And why don't we do that? And then it kind of just came about as an amalgamation of everybody's input. And really, it was just because we didn't have a lot of space. And it just so happened that we had that orientation in the office.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely love the product. So, given your extensive history, I mean, you're one of now the most funded crowdfunding creators ever in the history of reward-based
I don't know about that.
It's pretty amazing. You've amassed a community now of over like 20,000 backers, your fifth campaign, and now over $7 million raised for all of your products, launched combined. So first off, Jack, I got to congratulate you, man.
Thank you, thank you. Um, thinking back to our first campaign, crowdfunding was really like a moonshot thing for us. I had like a full-time job lined up. This was gonna be a side gig, and it just took on a life its own.
So, what surprised you the most over these crowdfunding years and launching innovations?
I guess the loyalty of our backers. I guess I just found out that 90% of them are repeat backers, and that's an amazing number for me. We obviously spend a lot of money on marketing, and shame on me for never tracking these statistics. But to find out that of the 5 campaigns, a lot of it's coming from the same group of people. It it is super gratifying to learn that, and it makes me feel that all the hard work and all the problems we had to deal with is totally worth it because we've developed this very loyal community, and that we could they resonate with us, and we're on the same team.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I know we were talking about this before the show, just about, the loyalty of the community, but that comes back to trust. You have earned their trust. Your team delivering product, being it as advertised, as marketed, putting it out there, delivering it on time, doing all the things right now over these years, you figured out that that
Mhm.
model works, it's sustainable, and as long as you're constantly communicating with that community of things that are happening or delays or shipping or all the other things that go on behind the scenes that most backers have no idea. They just want to support the creator and the invention itself, but there's a ton of things that go into that. I mean, I guess during this pandemic, what were some of those changes as a business that you guys have had to make that's affected future product launches?
Yeah, I think, well, touching up on what you said about trust, I think that is mutual, and we really strive hard to build that trust and sustain that trust. Now, with the pandemic and recent supply chain issues, everybody's had problems with manufacturing. And while we're still a non-venture backed company, we rely on crowdfunding to generate the cash flow so we could go into production. But we do so much work ahead of time. So it's not like we get the money and then we start doing the drawings. Our design are 100% done. Our tooling is already done, right? We just need the money to actually kick off the production. We actually paid for like the 10 to 20% deposit for all the raw material. It's just the balance payment we rely on crowdfunding. So by really shifting all that work prior to Kickstarter, we are able to ship a lot more accurately to the date we promised. It's no longer, we're no longer shooting at the hip, just trying to throw a date out there thinking that's the best we could do. We actually have a pretty solid game plan with several toll gates and milestones set up to get to that goal. With that said, I know our last campaign, the UX Max, our shipment was delayed for, I don't know, I think 2 or 3 weeks. And then with the UX Plus, that was in the thick of the pandemic. Everything was lined up, ready to go. And then all of a sudden, there are no containers.
Yeah.
Things were already made. There are no containers. China had a power outage. So, all the factories, stuff like that still happens. And, by, clearly communicating these setbacks, um, you know, creating new expectations, and just being open and transparent about everything. I think that's something that's changed from the past. It's really just doing a lot of work ahead of time and staying transparent and communicative.
Absolutely. So, given all this experience that you have in this community and running 5 massively successful campaigns, what would you say are like 2 or 3 things that every crowdfunding creator needs to understand about the process of launching their idea?
um, yeah, I think one is really get feedback. Crowdfunding is an opportunity for you to realize something you've always wanted to do, to make your dream real. So, but at the same time, it's also a business. So you want to make sure that there's market traction for your product. Otherwise, all that effort that goes into crowdfunding, you might not see the return on that type of investment. So definitely do research, tweak your product, get as much buy-in and feedback as possible, make your product as attractive to the crowdfunding audience, and then get that part of it ready. Now, second is if this is not going to be like one hit wonder for you, you want to create a sustainable business. Definitely, you need to start from the beginning to build that trust. You got to get a solid game plan to ship on time, get your factory lined up, have all that production stuff figured out before you crowdfund, not after you get the money. And that's going to help you succeed in the long run.
So I got to ask, how did you come up with the product name?
Oh, great question. Well, we wanted to name it Gemini, which means twin, but
Mm,
it's been trademarked by like 100 other companies, so we couldn't get it.
I was
so,
wondering because it's harder and
so
harder to name things these days, right?
I I know. So Geminos is like it's the masculine plural version of Gemini, and nobody had trademarked it, so we figured that'd be an easy one to get. Really, that's the reason why.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. In terms of the trademark side of things, have you had to do any enforcement on previous trademarks that you guys have done?
Well, funny thing is, our first product, which was called the Dual, which was later changed to DuX, uh, right. We had this trademark troll like come after us in my early days, and I had no idea what the heck was going on. And I don't know, I got scared and I folded. But in the end, as it turned out, he didn't even launch his product. We should have just stuck to our guns and just named it Dual. So that's like a trademark thing I had run into. Other funny thing is, our company Mobile Pixels, we couldn't register that trademark because apparently Google has a Pixel phone and also in the electronic space, and they send us some notice about, and that was, right when we launched the company. I'm like, yeah, I'm not getting the lawsuit with Google.
Nope.
So those are two funny things I had bumped into.
Wow. So what about, in designing the product? I know you guys are experts at this, but what were some of those challenges that you encountered? And maybe some of them were the reasons why no other monitor manufacturing company had even thought of doing this before.
Yeah, it's getting that feel to be perfect when you're lifting the display and adjusting it. It's got to feel balanced and light, but also convey a sense of confidence where you let go. It's not going to drift away or it's just going to stay in its place. And that really had to do with balancing out a lot of the spring forces against the torque hinges inside. And it just took forever to tune that feel in. And once it's tuned in, this product is being made overseas, and because of the pandemic, we couldn't travel to the factories, and trying to convey, that magical touch with a phone call or a video conference had just been really tough.
Yeah, I can only imagine, right? So tell me and talk to me about your campaign video because I really enjoyed it. It was short, it was sweet, it got to the point, and it touched on all of these different, demographic groups that really this product I think fits in need for, and probably so many more, right? But the campaign video was really unique, and I know over the years you guys have continued to refine that in terms of that messaging, that story. So talk to me about the good time that you had shooting this video.
hmm Yeah, we actually shot the video in North Carolina in
Yeah,
Raleigh. Um, so yeah, we work with a great production team. Um, so this is our fifth campaign. The previous four videos had been this interview style. It's kind of boring, and Steven just thought like, maybe we should switch things up a little bit and try something different, see if it's gonna stick. So we talked with the videography firm. Told them we wanted something to be funny. We wanted to be humorous, lighthearted, but also convey, really the value of Geminos. So I wrote the script, but they were able to splice the script into all these small scenes and really just, made the video what it is. I think, a lot of kudos goes out to Remedy for creating the video. Um, we had a lot of fun. Steven was a great actor, and we had
yeah,
talked about, in our next video, we're not going to hire any more actors. We'll just have Steven play all the different, people in the video,
I
and we'll
love it.
save, 20 grand on the video too. So, we had a lot of fun.
No, it definitely looked like a lot of fun. And honestly, Jack, the entire team over here at Inventus Partners has really loved working with you guys over the years on all of these product launches. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys can kind of choose what agency to partner with, but obviously we love working with you guys.
Yeah, it's, it goes back to that whole trust thing. It's, once you have it, it stays. And, I trust you guys. I'm always in good hands when working with you guys. The team has been super responsive. Lena and the entire crew have been great. So, I've, I couldn't be happier.
Amazing. So, what would be your top tip for raising over $1 million on this crowdfunding campaign?
Well, I think it's easier to get there if you have a higher price product. That's one. So
Yep.
prior to this campaign, our average pledge is about $260, and we had $1 million campaign on Kickstarter, but most of them are north of 800,000. But with this campaign, we got to $1 million, I think, in 10 days. So having a higher ticket item definitely helps, but what it really comes down to is the product itself. You could charge $1,000, but somebody's got to want it in the end. So going back to what I said earlier, do market research. Make sure you have the product market fit before you invest all this on Kickstarter.
Yep. Fully funded in 36 minutes on this one, right?
Yep.
Pretty amazing. So, what has been the biggest surprise for you of this campaign versus previous campaigns?
Uh, well, we were nervous. We were nervous about this product costing $500-$600. The affordability of the product. We were nervous about the concept. Our previous four campaigns had all been portable monitors, and this is our first foray into the desktop market. And the desktop monitor market is dominated by UP. Not UPS guy just walked in, so I said
Big
UPS, but
guys, I know. The big brands, right?
yeah, but Lenovo and Asus, and we weren't sure if we could we could make it a sustainable business with the razor thin margins in here. Um, so the surprise is that a lot of people bought into it when we did the pre-launch campaign. Our cost per lead had been $1.53. Now that's an amazing number compared to our prior campaigns. Facebook had doubled in CPMs in terms of cost, right? So 150 was the CPL we had when we launched the Duo 4 years ago. So seeing that type of cost per lead really helped me garner a lot of confidence. And then on day one, I think we did north of 300,000 in terms of funding.
All about that pre-launch data, right? Understanding
Yep,
what they're doing, what are they excited about, what are they willing to pay for it, all
exactly.
that good
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Hmm.
Amazing. Well, Jack, I'm not going to do the launch round with you today because you've been on my show. You already know the answers to these questions. But what I will ask you is my final question of, because you've done so many crowdfunding campaigns now, what does the future of crowdfunding look like in your eyes?
Mm, I think that, at least from my perspective, because we built our entire company based on Kickstarter, well, I'm hoping that more companies will do the same thing instead of using crowdfunding as a one-off to make one product. Maybe they could build a business that really creates value for the community in the long run. Every product will see some type of improvement, and with each improvement, there will be spillover effects where you create a new product that adds to the original portfolio. So I'm really hoping to see companies using Kickstarter to build an entire business, but not just a product.
Same here, my man. Well, Jack, this has been amazing. I'm going to end it with your opportunity to give our audience your pitch, tell people what you're all about, where they should go, and why they should check out Geminos.
So Geminos is reinventing the way people are working in their offices. Whether you're standing or seated, Geminos has the right position for you. It's a game changer in terms of a desktop setup. Go on Kickstarter now. Geminos is live. I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
Indeed. Well, audience, thanks again for tuning in. Make sure to visit artofthekickstart.com for the notes, link to the campaign, and everything else we talked about today. And of course, got to give a huge shout out to our crowdfunding podcast sponsor over at Product Hype, the top newsletter for new products that just launched. Jack, thank you so much for joining us today, and congrats on all the success.
Awesome. Thank you for having me again.